Anyway, the point being that the way how this is going to be very interesting in this way. Basically how it is. I'm so sorry that I got interrupted by something else. But anyway, this is the way it goes. So, today is going to be for a Libra for May 6th to May 13th of 2025. So basically this is for a Libra reading. I'm so sorry that there's going to be a lot of distractions here in terms of noises here. I'm so sorry about the manic cafe as in Starbucks cafe shop. If you would like Starbucks, I'll tell you about the story about that. But anyway, this is the way it is to be. So in this one entire situation, in this one entire session, I believe that everything will be fine and whatever it is, but the way how this is, the way how it's going to be occurred, that's how it seems to be now. We have to understand how we're going to do it as long as it needs to be and how we can understand how everything is that's the way it kind of goes, right? So that's how it seems to be and that's the way it goes. So if you see any cars in the background there, by the drive-thru or whatever it is, but you know what I mean, right? So that's how it's going to be. But the way how this is for Libra, let's see what's going on for Libra. Let's see what's happening here this way. That's the way it's going to be. Because I need to understand about how it's going to be in that way, of how this is going to be a very good position of how it's going to be. That's the way it kind of seems to be in that way, because that's the way it kind of goes. We're going to look at what's going on that way of how it is. And that's how it's going to be, right? So this is the way it kind of goes in that way. So let's see what's going on here. So we have the Five of Swords. It does represent Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, but it does represent basically conflict here. So when you're in conflict, you're not getting along as it seems to be, because when you're in conflict, it's basically how it's going to be in that drastic feeling. You're thinking, well, this is how it is. This is the way it kind of goes. I need to promote what's going on. When things can be in the right way in that position, that's the way it's going to be, right? That's the way it kind of goes, and that's how it's going to be. We have to understand that how we can do it in one way or another, because we have to do what we can to be prepared about what we can in that way. We need to understand how it's going to be in one way or another, right? So we have to understand how we can understand how we're going to do it in one way or another. This is the way it seems to be, right? That's how it kind of improves. So let's see what's going on in this situation. So let me go from the middle to left, middle to right. So 4 1 2 upright, follow with the stars upright, follow with the Judges upright, follow with the Page of Cups upright, follow the Wheel of Fortune upright. Yeah, because you're going to have good luck on your side, you're going to have action, you're going to have inspiration, you want to have prospects, you want things to be going your way, right? Whether you're going to a wedding, maybe you're not going to a wedding, maybe you want to do that, that's the way it seems to be. So you could be doing it on your Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and a fire sign and Zodiac signs, but that's how it's going to be now. Let's have things from the middle to right side. 10 1 reverse, followed by the Death Cards upright, followed by the King Cups upright. Yeah, because you want to have support here. You want to have endings, so you could be like, believe that you might have, basically have Scorpio in your chart as your zodiac sign. Maybe it could be that. But you know what I mean, right? So that's how it's going to be. But you have to know about how it's going to be in that way. You have to do what you can to do whatever you want. You want to don't know what to do in that way, right? You have to proceed with caution. You have to do what you can. Right? That's how it's going to be, right? So let me see what's going on here. So let me go from the middle to left, middle to right. Your fence upright, follow the 6 Pentacles reverse, follow the 3 Pentacles reverse, follow the 6 of Wands upright. So it does represent where you're going to have celebration on your side. That's the way it goes. 6 Pentacles reverse, you're not going to have any kindness because you're not being kind. Queen of Cups reverse, there's no empathy because there's no tell the story here. But the Hierophant upright here because you're going to have kindness. That's the way it seems to be in that way because you can understand that. And when things could be in a very position, that's the way it kind of goes in that way. You have to understand that. Why you have to believe that things should be in a way, and you have to understand that that's the way it should be in that way. That's how it's going to be in focusing on the situation. It's everything's going to move in the right time. This is upright, follow the King Cups upright, follow the Empress upright. Yeah, because there's there's nourishment here. There's basic support. There's you're going to take you're telling the truth. You know, that's the way it goes. That's the way it seems to be, right? That's the way it kind of how it should be, right? That's the way it seems to be. What's in this way? Insurance over, you know, you're going to have progress. That's the way it kind of goes. Because that way you think that, oh well, things seem to be fine. I need to know what to do. Yes, but then you have to provide what you're looking for. This is based on that. It's based on how you can do that one way or another. And you're thinking, well, this is the way it seems to be. I don't know what to do. But then you have to understand that when things are being in a perfect position, that's the way it kind of goes. That's how it's in that way. If you're thinking, well, you know, I need to do it. I need to plan on it. I need to know what's going on. I have to involve with what I'm doing because that's the way it seems to be. Yes, that there are things you want to hurt, but when you do that, you have to like, oh well, I know what to do, I got this, but then it's like, what's the point? You know, that's why it seems to be that. That's why it kind of how it seems to be in that way because you're thinking, well, you know, I need to understand this is the way it goes. I'm not going to counter this situation saying, well, I know what to do, but then like, you know, that's just the way it seems to be, right? That's the way it kind of goes. So let me think, what's going from the middle to the left side. Sun's reverse, probably Taurus upright, followed like current reverse, followed like Mrs. reverse, followed the Fool's upright. Yeah, because it tells you want change, but you're going to stay in negativity. When you're in negativity, it's like everything is not going as planned. Things are not going your way. You know, that's the way it seems to be. Taurus upright, there's transformation. You know, everything's changing. You know, that's just the way it kind of goes. It's the way of how you can understand how it's going to be in that moment. You have to give it. Right, that's the way it kind of in that position. That's the way it kind of goes, right? Because when you think about it, you think that everything seems to be. No, that's the way it kind of goes. What's happening between the middle and the right side? The Emperor reverse, while with the Sun card is upright, while with the Bull reverse, while with the Real Force reverse. Yeah, see, on the right side you're going to have bad luck, and the right side you have positivity. Well, in the middle you have negativity because you're trying to have progress. That's why it seems to be, right? That's why it seems to be, because let me see what's going on with the Real Force. Justice upright, yeah, because you're going to tell the truth. You know, it's based on how you're feeling in one way or another. You need to stand your ground to know what to do in that position. That's why it seems to be that. Yes, that there seems to be fine, but then it's like, well, okay, I'm got this, I know what to do. But then that's the way it seems to be, right? That's why it's kind of imposed that situation. So let's see what's going on. So let me go from the middle to the left, middle to the right. Page of Swords reverse, there's no education. The Emperor's reverse, there's no nourishment. Tank of Swords, there's completion. King of Pentacles is alright, there's security. Ace of Swords, there's understanding. You know, that's the way it kind of imposed. Because that's the way it seems to be, right? That's the way it kind of reflects on how it seems to be. That's why it seems to be. When things are going the right way, you know, the know that if you're in a good position, bad position, or the way it is, right? So you could deal with it in a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you can deal with it in a Virgo, Taurus, you can deal with it in a Gemini, or Aquarius. There are things that you must learn from in order to do that. That's the way it kind of goes. Because when things are not going as planned, it's like, why? You know, why I'm having all this issue? Why I need to do that? Why? You know, there are problems that I must face in order to achieve, or, you know, how I need to be responsible, whatever it is. That's why it seems to be in that way, because that's the way it kind of imposes that. That's the way it kind of goes. What's happening between the middle and the right side? Two swords separate, there you're at the crossroads. Ace of Pentacles separate, there's growth. And the 10 Pentacles here, there's no wealth. Yeah, because you have no wealth, right? You have growth because you're paying attention to it, you're growing about it, that's the way it kind of goes. So let me figure out what's going on between the crossroads. Which direction are you going to take left to right? So let's have them on the left side. The Nine of Swords here, there's no trauma. There's no chaos. There's decisions, alright? What's on the right side? Eight Pentacles, alright, there's perfection. Yeah, so you could be drawn to decisions, or you're going to have perfection. That's the way it kind of goes, right? That's why it seems to be that way. What's happening in the middle of this situation? The Strength over here is there's no bravery. Just for yours, you're not telling the truth because you're lying about something. Knight of Pentacles, yours, there's no trust. But the message of right, there's skill. Yeah, so when you have all these things, you have to understand that because you have to do what you can to impose that situation, whether you like it or not, whether you're going to do what things are in that way. That's the way it seems to be. What's happening in the middle of this situation here? Let's see what's back in the situation. Six cards here, there's no main Pentacles card, there's empathy. So what's happening with the six cards here? It means the heartbreak. So you're going to have heartbreak and empathy. So you're going to see what's going on in that way because that's how it seems to be, right? You have to go with the flow and understand that, right? That's how it seems to be. And that's how it's going to influence this situation, whether you like it or not, right? Or you're going to oppose that situation. That's how it seems to be, right? So you have to understand that when things go with a different perspective, that's the way it goes, right? That's the way it should be. And when you do that, that's the way how it is. Because things will happen as they go. Yes, that you need to learn that, but then, you have to face your own realities about what you're going to do next. That's the way it seems to be, right? It's like having that moment of how you're going to have your own ways of saying, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling heartbroken, or why, you need to tell the truth rather than lying, whatever it is, right? That's why you need to understand it, because things will come and go one way or another. Things may come in your life, things are going to go out of your life, whatever it is, right? You have to know about when you have life. And when you pay attention to it, you have to understand it, right? That's why it's easy to be in that position, whether you like it or not, whether you want to choose that in that long. That's the way it's going to be. That's why it's going to be. It's when you understand that, the way how this is, the way how it's going to be a good position, that's what it's going to be. You have to know about how you can do it in one or another. You have to understand that because, life goes on in that way, right? In this theoretical moment, but where you know what to do, where you're going to have your own beliefs or whatever it is, that's what it seems to be, right? So if you hear any music in the background, just to let you know, it's this romantic Capricorn, okay? But the fun thing is that in this reading that I'm telling you about Libra, you have to pay attention to what's going on in this way. You have to understand about how you can do it in one way or another. You have to do it what you can, because you have to think about how you can do it in one way or another, and you say, well, I got this, but then what's the use? What's the use about understanding about what's going on in this kind of good position, whether you like it or not, whether you're going to understand that. That's the way it seems to be. Life goes on. That's the way it seems to be. And when you do that, that's the way how it's going to impose it. Because about that situation. That's why it's important. And when you do that, that's the way it's going to impose it, right? That's how it is. So before I let you all go, pay attention about how it seems to be. Pay attention to what's going on in that way. And this is how it seems to be. So I hope you all like this video. Please give a like. Please give a comment. Enjoy. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now. Really. Thank you.